Welcome back. As the new year approaches, many people start to decide on the behaviors they'd like to either stop or adopt in the year to come. I'm Kyle Evans, and in today's performance upgrade, we're going to go deep to deconstruct the driving forces behind your bad habits and add some rocket fuel to help you get started on your good ones. You might just discover something about yourself today. So, hopefully you're here to find out what we're going to do with that list we made in the last video. If not, it's probably worth going back and checking that video out before we dive in today. Besides, there's a fun little nugget in there that you don't want to miss. So the question is, why do we behave the way we do? In the last video, we learned that we form habits as a biological tool so that we can take recurring tasks in our life and put them on autopilot, freeing up precious brain power for more intensive activities. But that's not the only driving force behind our behavior. According to Robert Feldman's textbook, Understanding Psychology, there are a number of other motivating factors at play, including resistance to change, which is a state of homeostasis where we're actually motivated to maintain our current circumstances. We're also motivated to increase our level of stimulation to a certain point, or motivated by an incentive to behave in a certain way. If you want to read more about the motivating factors that are in play in your behavior, check out a summary article that I'll post as a link in the comments. It's by Dr. Susan Krauss-Whitborn, and she does a great job of sort of summarizing what is in that text. But the bottom line, guys, is that if we can uncover the motivating forces behind our habits, then it becomes possible to hack our behavior to achieve a different result. As we begin to question the reasons why we act the way we do, you're probably going to find some interesting themes that start to happen. So let's jump in, starting with our bad habits. So if you've completed the exercises in the last video, you should have a piece of paper divided in half with your good habits on the top right-hand side and your bad habits on the top left-hand side. We're going to start first with the bad habits. So in order to fix these bad habits and put your life on a different track in the new year, we need to get clear on the triggers that prompt us to act the way we do. So what I want you to do is, for each of those habits that you've listed on that bad habit side of things, the habits you want to change, you want to ask yourself a few questions. Number one, when does this habit affect you the most? Number two, what are the circumstances around this habit? So what are your thoughts and what is your emotional state? What are your personal feelings behind your habit when you act this way, before you act this way, after you act this way? Right? So get clear on some of the circumstances. And then finally, who is around you when you execute on this particular habit? So quick note on this one, guys. It's extremely important that you be honest with yourself as you're going through this exercise. If you aren't true to yourself, it will be nearly impossible to actually end up kicking this habit. But if you have what it takes to be real with yourself, and you write down honest answers to the questions that we've just gone through, you can step up and decimate any behavior that gets in your way. Welcome back, guys. I hope that was powerful for you. Keep working on that list. So when I did this exercise for my own habits, I found that I'm affected by my tendency to sleep in only in the morning. I spend about a minimum of 30 minutes each and every day resisting getting up out of bed. For the rest of my waking hours, I'm consciously either regretting not waking up on time or planning on going to bed and getting up at a good time tomorrow. But what I need to do is I need to trigger a new behavior right at that split second when my alarm goes off. And if I can trigger a new behavior at that time and do that consistently, then I've got a real shot at becoming an early bird. Lots of other folks posted that they want to become more tidy or make sure they eat breakfast in the morning. So once again, be honest with yourself about what are the circumstances that are causing you to over and over again execute that poor behavior, even when you know it's not right. Okay, guys, so now it's time for your good habits. This stuff is going to get very exciting. So once again, you've got a list down the right-hand side of all the good habits that you'd like to start implementing into your life. What we want to do is we want to go through and deconstruct the why behind your good habits. That's going to be the rocket fuel to drive you to go and accomplish that. So take a look at the list of good habits that you've created. For each point, I want you to answer the following questions. I would recommend actually writing this out, so it's going to be easier to identify the trends. So question number 1, why is it important for you to start acting in this way? Question number 2, what outcome will this new behavior achieve? And question number 3 is, why do I want to create that outcome? So go ahead and try that now. Okay, welcome back. So what themes emerged for you as you were going through that exercise? Did you find that some of the answers to those questions were the same from habit to habit to habit? Or at least they started to become similar? See, what you've done as you've gone through this exercise is you've uncovered your true motivating behaviors behind every good intention that you have for your life. That's some powerful stuff. Now, I'm going to be diving into this very fascinating topic later on in a different video. But if you continue down the path of getting super clear on who you are meant to become, then you will ultimately discover your why, which you can then leverage to accomplish anything. So here's some of the things that I found as I went through that exercise. Just to give you an idea, here's what my list of good habits looks like. Number 1 is I wanted to wake up earlier. I wanted to make sure that I'm planning my days properly ahead of time. I'd like to eat healthier, which is a goal I think we should all have, no matter how healthy your diet is. I want to read more books. I want to be more consistent with my projects, videos, etc. I'd like to meet more people and grow my network. I'd like to start arriving to things 5 minutes early. I'd like to practice gratitude on a daily basis. I'd like to meditate for a minimum of 20 minutes per day. I'd like to improve the quality of my self-talk to make sure I'm being positive at all times. And I'd like to practice my French more often as well. So these are some of the good habits that I want to adopt in the new year. Some of the themes that I found is that the why, the driving motivating factor behind all of these, is that I want to build a business where I can become my very best so that I can help other people become their very best. See, I believe in personal development, and I want to make sure that I'm getting this message out to the world. If I'm going to be on point with all of these things on my list, that's going to allow me to go out and accomplish that true why in my life. If you can get clear on what it is that you want to accomplish, you'll be able to leverage that why and go out and make it happen. So I know that some of you guys watching this video may or may not take all that stuff in. For those brave enough to share, what I'd love for you to do is post in the comments about some of the key findings that you uncovered as you're going through this process. Either the motivating factors behind your bad habits or the whys that are going to drive your new habits. In the next video, I'm going to give you some tactics that you can use to implement and execute on some of the awesome things that we've discovered about ourselves today. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or head on over to www.kylejevans.com and leave us your email so that we can let you know when that next video comes out. If you haven't already done so yet, I still definitely recommend you check out the part 1 of this series, where we release some interesting philosophies around habits, and I issue a challenge with a fun prize for one lucky participant. So until next time, you guys, just keep on killing it. Also, if you have an idea for a better sign-off, I'm open to that too. I'll catch you next time.